Here we are, back for another coffee break. What's so funny?
Nothing. Let's go.
Today we're going to be talking about cryptocurrencies. We're going to be talking about what they are, what they're used for, and doing a bit of a deep dive because we talk about it a lot, but we never actually gave anybody context on what we're talking about. And there's a lot of people that don't know about cryptos. And this is going to be our first episode with a repeat guest, a fan favorite, Jordan.
Woo!
Welcome, Jordan, back to the podcast. Appreciate it.
Glad to be here. Friendly greetings.
Be warned, Jordan is running on 25 hours of no sleep. He's trucking along. Yep, he has been taking breaths of fresh air every morning.
He couldn't sleep. He was so excited to film this episode. He's just been up.
I waited every hour. Roland was just never online. I was just like, damn.
Please, God.
Again.
Please stop
waiting. I've been waiting since
please.
yesterday.
And also, before I forget, a quick update. Our merch store is live. I went ahead and added the merch link to all the previous episode descriptions. So if you want your own coffee break shirt or a coffee break mug, look at the description and you can get your own for pretty reasonable price. But yeah, that concludes our little intro. Before we get into anything else, what is everyone drinking? I actually have a new coffee this time, so this is worth it.
Oh, I'm stuck on a smoothie today, guys. So no coffee for me.
Yeah, he's on like Mark 2 out of 3 to getting getting a slapping.
Jordan, what about you? What are you drinking?
I was drinking protein shake, and I just finished it, so it was pretty good chocolate flavor. Yeah.
Nice. Look at these
Solid.
guys, shake bros.
Anti-coffee.
Today I have an iced coffee, but not any iced coffee. This coffee is known as the New Orleans coffee, and Nicole made it. I helped grind the beans, which was very annoying because I had to hand grind them. But this was essentially brewing for 12 hours overnight on the stovetop. And
on the stovetop.
With chicory. It was basically just in a pot. You take the grounds, super coarse grounds, you add chicory to them, and you throw them in a pot, or like a ceramic pot, I guess, and throw in water and let it steep essentially overnight, but you're brewing it because you're adding heat for 12 hours. And you get this really thick coffee. The actual liquid itself is quite thick, and it's very deep. So if you're ever interested, I forgot the actual name of the coffee brand. I'm sure
Sounds exciting though. That's a whole process to make that.
Yeah, it was interesting. You
find it worth it? Is it?
I don't really have iced coffee too much.
Gargle it. Oh, you didn't save her.
Let that shit.
You gotta swish it around.
Let it sit, bro.
You gotta swish it around, gargle it, and then spit it back out.
Spit it into my spit pan like an official taste tester.
I prefer iced coffee over hot coffee generally.
Really? I mean,
too.
that makes sense I've always grown up drinking hot coffee, so I just prefer it. But living in Florida, it makes sense that most people, I think, are going to prefer iced coffee. Iced coffee actually has more caffeine, typically, so something to note. But this is good. No, this is something different. I think I would want to try different beans next time, because I feel like with this kind of method, you can get a lot of neat flavors out of like a really light roast. I think this was a medium to dark roast that was used, so I'd want to try something like with more interesting flavors, like nutty flavors or floral flavors, but good nonetheless, and different. So I never had this.
Where did you guys pick it up from? Is it like something you
Nicole and
bought?
Ryan picked it up in California. They just got back last week, so.
Why don't you try baked beans? You said different. I wanted to say it earlier, but everyone kept talking, so I was like, all right, damn. I said it. Thank you. All right, I had to say it. All right, thank you. That was my time. All right, have a good one, guys.
That's gonna set the trend for the entire episode. That is what we're looking at, boys, boys and girls. We're gonna be talking about something. It's like, why don't you try baked beans? Talk about cryptos. Have you tried
Baked beans?
All right. Anyway, so now that we have finally brought a new coffee onto the show after weeks, I forgot the last time we brought something new on the show. We can actually dive into today's episode. So, what are cryptocurrencies? Also, this is really bright. What are cryptocurrencies? Let's hear what you guys think cryptocurrencies are. Kevin, what do you think of cryptocurrency? What's your definition of cryptocurrency?
I think my definition of it still sticks with the decentralized platforms, so a lot of the bigger coins that can be used to like actually buy goods and services.
Okay. All right.
So pretty straightforward. It's a pretty broad definition, but I think in general that's kind of what I'd consider most of them as.
All right.
That's good.
What about you, Jordan?
I think it's an online digital asset that can make you stupid rich if you know how to use it properly.
Okay. Those are pretty decent understandings, I think. I'm gonna read now I've been using Investopedia for a lot of today's content, and I found that Investopedia actually has really good synopsises of most of the ideas and concepts that we're gonna be talking about today. It's not super technical, but it does go over some of the technicalities by making it digestible. So the cryptocurrency definition by Investopedia is: a cryptocurrency is a digital or virtual currency that is secured by cryptography, which makes it nearly impossible to counterfeit or double spend. Many cryptocurrencies are decentralized networks based on blockchain technology. Keyword, so if you're thinking cryptocurrency, you should be thinking of blockchain. Almost every cryptocurrency revolves around a blockchain. And blockchain is a very interesting and new technology that has come out. A distributed ledger enforced by a disparate network of computers. That's actually the definition of blockchain. So, would you guys agree with that definition?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
That's a pretty much longer definition, but yeah, I think that summarizes crypto pretty well, or at least the currency. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a very major point. It's a virtual currency that is secured by cryptography. It's extremely important that that's a distinction, because you can call, years and years ago, a couple decades ago, I'd say, there was actually a form of digital currency that you could send through email. I don't know if you guys knew about this. You could actually send money through emails, and this is my uncle was actually telling me about this.
It sounds like something like the king of Nigeria is requesting from you, bro.
Maybe that's where it came from. But yeah, you could send emails, and but there was obviously, it was not supported by blockchain, so there was actually security risks involved with doing stuff like this. With the advent of blockchain technology, Satoshi Nakamoto, who is
my dad. My dad.
Wow.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first. He's my dad.
Wow. That's amazing. Where's the marble statues behind you in the mansion? Where's the mansion, bro?
It's in the other side of the parking lot. I live in the garage.
My dad lives in the mansion. He lets me live in the garage.
Yeah. He's like the ashamed child right here.
You can't see the Lambo from here because it's
you can only see the trash.
It's in the mechanic.
So the founder of Bitcoin has actually never been truly identified, as far as I know. There have always been rumors and gotcha headlines that it's like, oh, we found Satoshi Nakamoto, or Satoshi Nakamoto reveals himself, until someone can show a reporter the actual address that stores essentially, a huge wild amount of Bitcoin that's been there since the start of Bitcoin, and this is verifiable. We won't know who Satoshi Nakamoto is, but he is the founder of Bitcoin. He is a anonymous person, and he created cryptocurrencies essentially, or at least the most popular cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. So that's cryptocurrency in a nutshell. It's just a digital currency that is supported by a blockchain that's cryptographically secure and decentralized. Extremely important, decentralized. So what are some of the use cases of crypto? Why is this even important? What do we even need it for? Who the hell cares? Why can't I just use PayPal, right? What do you guys think? Do you know some of the uses for actual cryptocurrencies?
I think it's really interesting, the variety of cases that it's being used for now. I mean, like, I know people are buying anything from like homes to in-store products. Like, you can buy things off the dark web with crypto. There's so many different uses now for things you can buy crypto with.
Is that a sex doll behind you from the dark web?
Yeah. I didn't think you could see that peeked out under my.
You had to go to the dark web.
I see the dick from here. I can see the penis from here.
What the
fuck? So actually, Jordan, what do you find to be useful? And before I ask you that, there's a common misconception that crypto is heavy, like the main use for cryptocurrency is the dark web. While that is, there is a use case there. Studies have come out that show that it's like less than 5% of transactions taking place on, or something like that. I forgot the exact number. It's a very small number of transactions though, take place on the dark web with crypto, or specifically Bitcoin, I think it was. But Jordan, what do you find to be useful with crypto? What can you use it for? Anything?
He's just thinking about the sex doll.
Yeah. Some blood play. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I think the peer-to-peer, I think that's really good. Being able to just, buy whatever you want with it, pretty much. If you can't buy it with crypto, you literally can cash in like 2 to 3 days, and then you get it in fiat, which is your money in your country, and just buy it with that. But I think keeping your money in crypto is like the best thing there is. It's an investment, and it's also
okay,
remote payment.
But you haven't really there aren't many uses that you actually described there. It's just you can put money in, convert your fiat, and that's a good point. We didn't actually talk about that. Fiat is just another term for a nationally supported currency, like the US dollar, pesos, anything like that. That's fiat. So that's actually a perfect example of some of the problems with cryptocurrency right now. There isn't much you can use it for. But the use cases are growing as adoption takes place, right?
Yeah.
I think that's not. Sorry to interrupt. I think that's the biggest thing right now. Is it's hard for it's a lot easier nowadays than before, but I think mass adoption is still, getting more and more prevalent. I mean, we're seeing, what is it, like El Salvador, is it like fully adopted Bitcoin?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that. The lady with the cart saying she accepts Bitcoin and Ethereum as a form of payment. Actually, in the Philippines, people are taking SLP as a form of payment to buy motorcycles, food,
Really?
houses.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Wow. And for
awesome.
something we're going to be covering
SLP,
later, SLP stands for Smooth Love Potion, which is actually a cryptocurrency from a game called Axie Infinity. We're going to get into that a little bit later. That's just Jordan's expertise. But that's a great example. And El Salvador, I forgot about El Salvador. They recently came out to support Bitcoin as their national currency, which is insane. But no, that's a perfect point. As adoption continues, you'll be able to spend your cryptocurrencies on stuff and actually make it a valuable and valid currency. Tesla is a great example. Tesla was for a long time accepting Bitcoin as a payment for a Tesla. Then they stopped for a little while, and then I think they are now supporting it again alongside Dogecoin. Thanks, Elon.
Dogecoin.
Hard chill.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous.
Hard chill on Dogecoin.
So hopefully we covered enough about crypto to give you a vague, a somewhat baseline understanding of what crypto is, and what it can be used for. A great example. Actually, it's not a great example because I didn't technically buy my car with crypto, but I did earn enough money, as Jordan was saying, by investing early on. And really, it shouldn't be called an investment. You don't really invest in currencies. It's kind of weird. But I essentially invested my money into a crypto early on. Kevin and I were, putting money in certain little places with our little bits of money that we had laying around, and sometimes they popped off. Most of Kevin's didn't. No, I was kidding.
We were what is it? The pioneers. The pioneers.
The pioneers.
This was in 2017, and it did pretty well. And I was able to buy a used car. Nothing crazy, $2,500 worth. But that was a proud achievement of mine. I was like, oh wow, crypto is valid enough that I could get a real world asset out of it. So that was a pretty big thing. So crypto is not a joke. It's a real thing, and it's going to be around for a long time. But do you guys have any stories like that?
I haven't. I don't know if I've bought anything in real life, particularly with it. I mean, I've most of my assets I've held on to and just kind of grown for a while. But I mean, of course, when you see like different, amounts in your account that, just shows that it's getting bigger and bigger every year. I mean, it's really hard to just, not want to pull out and take profits and be able to upgrade real life, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm thinking back on a conversation I had with Robin, my brother, about crypto when he was just thinking about starting to put money into it. And we were talking about it, and he's like, it's funny because people constantly are comparing Bitcoin's worth, or crypto was worth, to fiat, to USD. Until that disappears, cryptocurrency is always going to be looked at as an investment and not an actual currency. And I was like, that's a fair point. It's actually until Bitcoin actually is established as Bitcoin is worth a Bitcoin. We don't say a US dollar is worth X amount of Bitcoin. We say Bitcoin is worth X amount of US dollars. So until the dynamic shifts, it's going to be hard to convince people to not look at cryptocurrency necessarily as an investment, but more as a currency that you can actually use. But I want to actually shift gears a little bit and talk about Ethereum and Bitcoin and differences between the two. And this actually gets into a really interesting topic. Do you guys know what the difference between Ethereum and Bitcoin are?
Bitcoin, you cannot do smart contracts. Ethereum, you can do smart contracts. Bitcoin is like gold. Ethereum is more of like a high-tech silver. Bitcoin is king. Sorry.
No, that's actually perfect. Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's exactly correct.
Holy shit, I'm right. Okay, thanks. Let me call my mom, let her know.
I'm impressed, man. We're almost on 26 hours of no sleep, and you're able to pull that out of your ass. That's actually very good. Yeah, no, that's actually absolutely correct. Bitcoin is a true cryptocurrency. It is a finite supply It is, you know, a proof of work concept where it's mineable. There's no smart contracts, like you're saying. It's like it's a true currency. It serves one purpose, realistically. Ethereum is, like you said, almost like a technology company. It's a high tech and platform for enforcement of smart contracts. And a smart contract, this is where it gets a little technical. A smart contract are small pieces of code that exist on the blockchain. That thing we were talking about before that is completely decentralized, peer-to-peer, and encrypted. Well, actually not encrypted, it's hashed, but anyway. So these smart contracts will actually execute terms and when certain criteria are met. So that is the main platform of Ethereum. So I'm actually going to read this real quick from the same website. I think I had it. Maybe I didn't.
Investopedia.com.
Yeah, Investopedia.com. But I had something up that showed the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Damn it. Anyway, was that your understanding of Ethereum, by the way, Kevin?
Pretty much. I mean, I think one of the major differences, like how a lot of people nowadays view Ethereum versus Bitcoin, not only with the smart contracts branching off and opening a lot of new possibilities, but with the different supply amounts. I mean, people really do view Bitcoin as something they can hold on to for time and time, like just for forever really, and expect it to grow over the years. But I don't know if people necessarily think of using Bitcoin as like going into a store and being able to do something like that and be able to buy like a soda or something. But right. Ethereum, I think a lot more people have access to in terms of price and the amount, the supply. So,
do you bring your mic a little closer, by the way?
Yeah, but overall, what Jordan said covers like was a pretty fair point about one being compared to gold and the other being silver. I think that's that shines true.
Yeah. So I'm gonna read this real quick from Investopedia. More importantly, though, the Bitcoin and Ethereum networks are different with respect to their overall aims. While Bitcoin was created as an alternative to national currencies, like El Salvador, and thus aspired to be a medium of exchange and a store of value, Ethereum was intended as a platform to facilitate the immutable programmatic contracts, those smart contracts that we're talking about, and applications via its own currency, which is called Ether. So a lot of people compare Ethereum and Bitcoin, but they're fundamentally different different completely. And as a result, Ethereum actually has a lot more use cases. One of them being NFTs, or non-fungible tokens, which have exploded in popularity in the last year, and gained traction, mainstream attraction through news articles, news coverage, everything. And it's kind of interesting how it actually all blew up out of nowhere. Do you guys know?
It's really come to life in this like last year or two. It's back in 2017. There was no talk of any NFTs back then. There was nobody really on that side of things.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Jordan, did you even know what NFTs were a year ago?
A year ago, no. I have no idea.
But I guess they've been around since like 2014 or so, right? Like they've been around a while now, right?
Yeah.
They've been around for a long time. They've been around for a while, pretty much since not since Ethereum has been created, but I think shortly after Ethereum was created, they started supporting NFTs. And an NFT is just a way of providing a digital asset that is not fungible. And while that sounds like stupid, like Roland, you just call it a non-fungible token. Obviously, that is what that means. Let me give you a definition of fungible. So USD, Bitcoin, Ether, those are all fungible assets. And fungible means that you can directly convert it into another asset. So USD you can convert to another national currency without a problem because there's a direct exchange rate there. An NFT, a non-fungible token, is something like your couch.
Yeah.
Right? You can't really directly convert it into another currency. You could sell it, and it will be dictated by market price. But there's no like, oh yeah, that couch is $2,468.76. Like, no.
A digital couch.
A digital couch. But that is a non-fungible asset. Your couch, your mic, my computer, anything like that, anything physical like that, you can't directly convert it into a currency.
I think one of the biggest ones too nowadays is just art, right? Art is grown massively in the NFT space.
Yeah, we're actually just about to get into that. So NFTs are, I'll just read the definition right now. NFTs are tokens that we can use to represent ownership of unique items. They let us tokenize things like art, collectibles, even real estate. So actually, like Kevin just said, yeah, you can make an NFT out of anything, but it's primarily used for digital assets. It's the same way as having a certification of authenticity for a Van Gogh painting at a museum. An NFT serves the same purpose. It's a certification of or certificate of authenticity for your wallpaper on your desktop. So it's just a new way of providing proof that you own something, that you have the original. And yeah, you can take a screenshot, you can take a video of it, but you don't actually own it. So
damn, Kevin. That hits hard. That hits hard. Shout out to all your exes.
Oh my god.
So, that is the rundown of what an NFT is, and there's a lot of skepticism on the use cases of NFTs and the environmental impacts of NFTs and all that stuff. And we can talk about that for a little bit, but NFTs are they don't have a like technological impact, I guess. It's not like, Ethereum smart contracts, but they provide a big service of being able to trade digital assets with.
Well, I know all of us own NFTs.
Oh yeah, you guys do.
True. We're gonna get into that a little bit. It goes actually. This is all leading up to the end for our marketing scheme. That's what this episode is all about. Here's my referral code. No, I was kidding.
It'll actually be my referral code.
Yeah, of course, naturally. So NFTs just serve a great purpose to being able to trade digital assets like art, and actually, a great use is video games. You can actually trade in-game assets. So the sword that you've been trying to get for I don't know 6 months by killing the same boss over and over again. Imagine if you were able to take that sword and sell it for essentially for a cryptocurrency, and transfer that to either another game or certify that someone else can own it. That's the power of an NFT. It allows a lot of crazy things to happen that we haven't really explored yet, but we're just getting into recently. Do you guys have anything else to add on top of NFTs before we switch topics here?
I think NFTs are big on like people who are passionate about collecting.
Yeah.
Especially if like we said, a game. If you're passionate about the game, you really love the game, you want to collect things from the game that's rare, that's hard to find, not everyone owns. I think that's you hold like a higher standing in the game.
Yeah, I imagine it to be like, I think that's a really good way to put it. And I imagine it to be, all the people in real life that, collect stamps or artwork or whatever it might be. it's just that, but digitally, to put it simply. And I think that's why so many people, have realized this, and it's gone so big in the last year.
Yeah, absolutely. And as it's getting bigger, actually, environmental concerns have come out, like I was just talking about, in terms of the amount of power and use to transact these NFTs and even create the NFTs. News articles are coming out like, oh, NFTs are going to cause the end of the world with their global warming, and it's a little silly, realistically, because it's not true. It does have an environmental impact. Can't debate that. But the idea that NFTs and even cryptocurrencies in general are committing more to global warming than giant corporations like Nestle. Get the fuck out of here. It's just stupid. It's just a stupid argument. But the point is, there is a problem currently going on with cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin, for example, and Ethereum do contribute to global warming and have an environmental impact. Do you guys know why?
No.
The power consumption, right?
Yeah, and do you know why it consumes so much power, though?
Because they have to work twice, 3 times as hard. I'm assuming just to mine those coins.
Okay.
But yeah, I imagine the piece, all these rigs that are set up all over the world to mine mine cryptocurrency just uses an enormous amount of power to really, power these whole entire setups, really.
Yeah, and that kind of gives a great segue into what we're talking about. What is mining? What is even? The hell is mining cryptocurrency? Wait, you actually pull out a pickaxe and just start slamming your computer? No.
I wish, dude.
Mining is actually a term used to describe the process in which computers try to create or get rewarded, essentially, a certain crypto. So for Bitcoin, computers will essentially guess the answer to a very difficult math problem. They're constantly guessing thousands and thousands and thousands of times a second to try to answer this problem. First person who actually answers it gets awarded a certain number of Bitcoin. I forgot how much right now it is. It's like 20, 16. I forgot the exact number as it is right now.
And it gets smaller.
Every halving. Yeah.
Yep, it gets smaller over time, but you get awarded a certain number of crypto when you guess the correct answer. That obviously takes a lot of computing power, because the faster you can guess, the more of a chance you have at getting the right answer. So people all over the world, they buy up these super power hungry graphics cards, super power hungry computer equipment, and set those to mine for all eternity until their equipment busts. Mm-hmm. That's contributing a lot to global warming, and not really, but it's contributing a lot to the power consumption of Bitcoin and stuff, and cryptocurrencies in general. That is a major problem.
Except in China.
Except in China, yeah. China's been cracking down on crypto pretty heavily. Yeah.
They got rid of the mining.
Yeah, pretty much, and they've announced it as a currency altogether. So yeah, that is a problem, and that is the problem with the proof of work concept. And that is the concept that Bitcoin employs and Ethereum currently, and most cryptocurrencies actually. But there is a solution on the horizon, at least for Ethereum and some other cryptos. You guys know what that is?
No, I didn't realize there was a solution to the problem so far.
So there's an upgrade to the Ethereum network that is being developed right now called the proof of stake concept. Okay. And rather than using the proof of work concept, which requires these computers to guess and use a lot of power, and then you have to have a lot of serious equipment to actually participate in the network, the proof of stake concept actually doesn't use any of that. It totally eliminates the need for all of that super crazy computer equipment and the crazy power consumption that comes with it. Instead, they determine your chance at being able to validate and mine the network based off how much of that crypto you actually currently have. So, for example, you stake a certain amount of Ethereum for this upgrade. We're going to be talking about Ethereum. You stake a certain number of Ethereum on the network, which certifies you to a certain percentage chance to successfully mine more Ethereum. No use of equipment, no guesses, nothing like that. It's just it's a random chance. There's a percentage, the chance goes up the more Ethereum you have. And that completely eliminates the problem. What do you guys think of that? Any thoughts?
How much to stake? 32 Ethereum?
I think it is 16.
Is it 16?
Something like that. You might be right. It might be 32. Why is it a deal killer for you?
A little bit.
What if I told you that there are mining pools, so that you can still stake however much Ethereum you have. You just insert it into a pool that then collects all the Ethereum to get the 32 minimum or whatever X minimum, and then that is used to stake on the actual network, and you get a percentage of whatever they get awarded.
So it's split between everyone that's in that pool.
Exactly. But it's split, according to how much you stake.
That's pretty good.
What about you?
Thoughts, Kevin?
Yeah, what about you, Kevin? What do you think of proof of stake?
I mean, it's something that I've definitely thought about over the last year. It's I'm still trying to debate if it's something that makes sense for me, because it's not just Ethereum that you can stake with, right? There's a lot of other coins that are now built off the Ethereum network that you can stake with as well, right?
Not in the same way. So none of the coins on the Ethereum network actually work off of proof of stake, for the best of my knowledge. You can stake them on their website or their internal network for that APR or whatever. But most
so the staking you're talking about is just for Ethereum itself, just that. Yeah. That's what it sounds like. Okay.
Yes. This is staking the actual Ether to and then actually mine. It's a new way of mining Ether to begin with. So that whatever staking you might be thinking of doesn't really apply here.
Okay. Yeah, that's something I think I don't know enough about then. That's something I'd have to look into a bit more.
Yeah,
I definitely don't have enough Ethereum to fucking to get in on my own stake, but
yeah,
add $3. That's it. Take it or leave it.
Something I was just talking about with Vinny actually the other night was because he was trying to learn about crypto, and he brought up a great point about Bitcoin, and he's like, Roland, what if in however many years, when one of the halvings occur or more and more halvings occur, or the last Bitcoin is mined, what's going to happen to the network? No one's going to want to mine anymore. I'm like, yeah, Bitcoin's probably going to die then if they don't do anything about it, if they don't make an upgrade, because there's no miners, there's no one validating the network, there's no work being done, then the network dies just like that. And that's a great point and a great question. And
but this point, I think if they based on it current technology or the advancements we have going on, it wouldn't be possible to mine the last Bitcoin for another 100 or so years.
Yeah, it would be dead. Yeah,
out of our lifetime.
It's not even a problem for me.
That doesn't take into account quantum computers, though. If quantum computers become more feasible and actually is ever used on the network, the Bitcoin network, that computer be so powerful that it can actually unravel the entire network and decrypt the entire hashing or the hashed blockchain. So it certainly could be a problem in the sooner future than most people anticipate, depending on technological advancements. But proof of stake actually addresses this problem because the mining never has to stop, because the mining that occurs. Well, I guess for Bitcoin, it's a little different. Bitcoin would have to adopt something a little bit different. But also another problem with as miners drop out of the network and there's like fewer and fewer miners, it becomes a lot easier for an attack to be done on the network. I'm going down a rabbit hole. I'm actually gonna stop right there. I'm getting way too technical. I get a little
deeper and deeper into the rabbit hole.
Yeah, I need to stop myself.
It's a lot. There's so much information.
I encourage anyone who might be interested in learning about proof of stake, some of the benefits and stuff like that. Just to honestly, you can go on the Ethereum website and read all about it. But I'm gonna stop there because
it's great.
Yeah,
It's great.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Proof of stake is great. Yeah.
Very interesting technology. So let's get into Jordan's expertise, okay? I want to hear about, now, we were talking about NFTs, non-fungible tokens, and how they can be used. And we said, yeah, you can use them for Bobo. Bobo gets mad when you mention NFTs. You can actually use them for games. Tell us about what you've been doing, Jordan.
So I recently, well, actually the beginning of July, I was scrolling through Facebook. I saw a post about this game. I Googled it. It was called Axie Infinity. I posted on Facebook, Axie Infinity legit ? A lot of people commented, yes, it's legit. So I was like, okay, whatever, fuck it. So I looked into it. It took me a day. And it's a cryptocurrency based game. It's an NFT. It's like gacha game. It's like Slay the Spire, but without the roguelike. And
I compare it to Neopets.
Neopets, yeah. So
very different.
So I kept looking into the game, and I decided to go all in on the second day after I started playing, and I took all my crypto out and just put it in the game. So this game so you have 3 little pets, and 3 is minimum. You need to have 3. And you play the game by doing adventure mode and arena. And you get rewarded with SLP on your daily quest. The minimum SLP back then, last month, was 150. They cut it down to 75 SLP for the longevity of the game. So it's a healthy future for the game.
Let me stop you right there. Before we get into the specifics, let's just go over what you just said. Axie Infinity is a crypto-based game in which you can play the game and get awarded SLP tokens, which can be converted to real-life money, fiat, USD,
exactly.
Whatever you use. And the actual creatures that you buy, called Axies, right? They are NFTs.
Yes, they are NFTs, yes.
Pretty cool.
You breed them. As soon as you breed them, it registers as an NFT, and yeah, you can sell them, you can buy more, it's up to you. So they have this thing implemented in a game called Manager Scholar System, where if you're a manager and you want people all over the world or your friends or family to play the game and earn SLP, you can lend them your Axies, and they play for you, and they can give you a portion. You get a cut and they get a cut, and everyone is happy. And you can do this with 1,000, 3,000, 4,000 scholars if you want to.
So what's the barrier of entry like to actually play the game? Because you have to have Axies to play for the arena and PvE mode, right?
Yes.
How much does each Axie cost on average?
So it varies depending on the price to breed, how much SLP it costs, how good the Axies are.
What's the minimum?
Minimum right now would be, if you want like just Axies to get, just to play the game, not doing PvP, just pure adventure mode, PvP, it would suck. They're called floor Axies because they're bottom of the barrel. Their cards suck.
Give me the dog shit. I want to hear about the dog shit.
The dog shit one.
Yeah.
If you look right now, you can get from $215 Or one time I saw an $80 one.
If you get lucky, you can get one. You might be able to scoop one up for $80. That's still a significant amount of money for a lot of people. And you have to get 3 of them to even play the game, right?
3 of them to play the game. Yes,
right.
Correct.
So, Jordan was just talking about a system in which you can actually allow someone who can't afford to actually play the game to play the game on your behalf, right? And that's the scholarship management system that you're talking about, where let's say, old Joe doesn't have that kind of money to spend right now, but he wants to play the game. You can lend old Joe your 3 axes, and he can play the game just fine, but you get a cut of whatever he makes from the game.
Correct.
Okay. And are the prices of the axes determined at all by the company that made the game, or is it determined just by other players?
It's determined by players. You put in the price that you want people to pay. Sometimes I've sold axes to where sometimes the same day they sold, and there's been axes where it's been a week and they haven't sold, so I changed the price. I lower them a little bit, and then they sell right away. It depends on the meta. That's also another thing. If you have good axes and the meta is that axie, it goes up in price. If the meta changes, your axie gets nerfed, or they implement updates that nerfs that axie, then the price may go down.
Okay.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So one concern, I guess, is that the price can be influenced by the company in different ways. They won't outright set a price for an axie or for anything like that, but changes to the game itself can influence the price, and changes to the reward system, like you were talking about earlier, how they halved the amount of rewards you get from the game, could change the price of the token, or just how viable it is to even play the game for people. So that's one thing to take into account. But what an interesting concept. Basically Neopets on crack.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, Neopets on crack. It was actually just supposed to be just back in I believe it was 2018 or 2017 when they made the game. It was supposed to be just breeding. You just have these little pets and you just breed them. You pet them, I guess, and then they slowly implemented adventure mode, and then PvP mode came out, and it was just like,
I'm sure the people that have been breeding them since 2018 are probably doing super well for themselves.
Oh, extremely well. I saw an account with like 5,000 axes in it, and the guy just breeds them. So I'm assuming he's well off. When AXS was priced at 40 cents back in the beginning of the year,
yeah.
Now it's at $70 something.
Pretty significant.
Yeah, that's huge. Breeding that, and I mean SLP was only priced at, it was so low. People were saying it was like 1 cent at one point, and people weren't really interested, in making such small gains. And then when it blew up, that's when Axie Infinity just skyrocketed. Took off. Everything just like, wow.
I heard it's super, super popular, and not just from you. I've also heard about it from other news articles. Super popular in the Philippines, Axie Infinity. They actually even have Axie Infinity commercials, which is insane to me. Obviously, you know about that.
Oh yeah. I saw the documentary. It was some guy from my.
There's a documentary.
It was a small little documentary where it was a guy in actually my province. He was playing this game. He got enticed by the NFT crypto, and he started playing. And he asked his neighbors and his family and friends. He's like, "Hey, you want to play this game for me? I'll give you a cut." And then from then on, it was like the whole fucking village is under him, and he's a manager. And he's definitely well off, making a lot of money. Just manager scholar relationship.
You essentially work full time now on. You don't actually work on the Axie Infinity game, but you work in establishing a team to play the game, right?
Yes, me personally, yes. I started last month. I played for 3 days, just to get the gist of the game, get the meta, how to play the game, and just Googled everything I could. I didn't really ask anyone around me because I'd rather learn it myself. And Filipinos suck with explaining and all that stuff. So it's like I just absorbed everything I could, and then like I said, I cashed everything, all my crypto out to put it in Axie Infinity, and I got about 15 scholars on my first month, and that was, well, it was a lot of money, but I also had to save money because we were moving.
Right.
And right now I'm at 22 scholars on my second month, so it's really good money, and
it's growing. And these are 22 people. A scholar, like you said, a scholar is someone who's just playing the game with your Axies. You have 22 people that you're managing that is just playing the game.
Yeah, exactly. And if you actually do it correctly, you don't even have to touch the game. You just have to look at the numbers. And that's what I did. I made sure everything was set up to the point where I'm updated. You know, I play League all day. Kevin knows this. Go-tos, hard stock. Yeah, that's all I do. I made sure everything is good. Of course, I keep up with the updates. My brother is also in it. He actually has about 18 scholars right now, and I told him about it. Yeah.
Wow.
I told him about it, and this guy was like, "I'm fucking all in. I'll cash everything out right now, and I'll play the game."
Is he managing them himself? Like he has his own team, or is he working with you and you're helping him manage his team?
He's in my guild, and he's like you guys.
Ah, yes.
No,
don't tell anyone. No, I was kidding.
So yeah. Oh yeah. Before I forget to mention, so since Axie Infinity is an NFT, and you know, there are rare and mythic Axies where there's only a limited amount that you can have, and if you have these Axies, the co-founder of Axie Infinity will follow you personally on Twitter, and you will have your own personal role on their Discord server saying you're a Mystic owner.
That's cool. That's neat. That's always fun.
Yeah.
Little perks.
Yeah.
So just oh, go ahead.
I was gonna ask. So like, okay, so is this only if you breed one of these special Axies, or is this if you sell it, does the ownership of all that transfer over to somebody else?
If you sell it, the ownership will transfer to someone else, and then you'll prove it by, you know, sending your Ronin address with your name on it. Hey, this is my Axie now. And then you can't really, breeding it is kind of hard because you need 2 Mystic Axies with the same trait. Breeding is a little bit complicated. There's a dominant trait, recessive 1, recessive 2. You need a certain percent so that it pops up on the, you know, the offspring.
Right.
So yeah, it's fucking Mystic Axies are expensive. I
saw.
can't even.
We're talking about hundreds and thousands of dollars.
Millions. There's a $25 million Axie. Yes.
Jesus.
Since there's six parts of an Axie, one of those parts can be a Mystic. 2 of those parts can be a Mystic. If you have, I saw 4 parts that's a Mystic. I think that's the one that's 25 millions. So if you get an Axie with 6 parts that's Mystic, I mean, you can probably buy a fucking $200 million yacht. You want it
and have some left over, have some for the kids.
You can have some left over.
Wow. So just full disclosure. First of all, we don't get any. We don't. There's no ad or anything. We're just talking about it because it's interesting. But at the same time, Kevin and I also have dipped our toes in this Axie Infinity business a little bit, just in this last week or so. Jordan has helped us out in that regard because it's an interesting concept.
Absolutely.
And so my referral code is going to pop up on the screen. I'm just kidding. There's no referral codes. There's nothing like that. It's genuinely just a video game. So as you know, we like talking about video games here, and I thought it's a super interesting crossover between a video game and crypto. And I think it's amazing how far you've taken this, Jordan. I think it's extremely impressive because I remember you a month ago or a couple months ago messaging me on Discord, hey, Roland, can you take a look into this real quick and see if it's actually legitimate? And I'm like, I'm reading through everything. I'm like, yeah, it looks okay. I mean, it looks all right.
Yeah, I just needed your green light, to be honest. I was just like, yes, okay. Yes.
I don't know if we mentioned this before. Did you mention this earlier? Who actually sponsors the game, Roland?
Yeah, no, I didn't. Go ahead.
I just to like, you know, I one of the biggest concerns I had, like, you know, when you first hear something like this is, you know, who's backing the game? Like, what's
is this legit?
You know? Yeah, is this legit, right?
Is this another big connect? Yeah, they're just gonna take my Ethereum and run away. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you know, come to find out that you know, Samsung and Ubisoft actually have partnerships with Axie.
With Axie Infinity.
COO of 100 Thieves is also in it. Mark Cuban is also in it.
So
And
a lot of big
I believe
names.
COO of Reddit.
Yeah. Oh, really? Wow. That's a lot of. I mean, as soon as I found that, I knew I could stop actually reading about Axie Infinity, because I'm like, if Samsung has their name anywhere near this stuff, they had a team to look at this shit. Way more than I can look at it, right? So if that convinces anyone to look into Axie Infinity further, it did for me. When I saw Samsung and Ubisoft being attached, having their names near this, I was like, oh, you know, maybe this is actually something cool. Anyway, thank you, Jordan, by the way, for telling us about your new
Hey, you're welcome.
job.
I want all my friends to know. I try to tell everyone, you know, all my close friends, hey man, you should check this out. I know you're struggling, paycheck to paycheck. Not you two, but you know, I tell some people, but some people it's just like, nah, I'd rather work 9 to 5. But okay, I respect that if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, and you know, there's a pretty big hump to get over when it comes to taking this kind of stuff seriously, because there's so many other scams on the internet, so many cryptocurrency scams specifically. I cannot tell you how many people have tried to get me into all these colloquially known as shit coins.
I don't know what you're talking about. Sheep coin to the moon.
It's insane how many you know, projects can just pop up and gain such a big social media traction to make it seem legitimate, but it actually seems pretty serious. And you know, if I know something crazy happened actually the other day where we, completely unrelated to you, we found out someone in our old WoW guild was doing the same exact thing. Literally the same exact thing, and almost at the same stage as you. And I was, for me and Kevin, when we found out about that, I was like,
That's
wow.
crazy. Yeah.
Like,
I think that's a sign. It's like, okay.
I think it was a sign for Kevin.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I mean, just in the last few weeks alone, I've had so many people just, you know, show interest or talk about it to me that, like, I would just never expect. And it's just showing so much, like, you know, the game's just growing, like, more, like, exponentially, really. And I'm excited for that, you know. I think it's you know, part of the reason I got into it. It's an opportunity I wanted to be on board with.
Yeah, and it's completely like, it's almost hands off if you don't want to play. I mean, for people who want to play, you can actually pay your rent just by playing the game for the whole month, you know. And I've calculated that. I made sure the numbers are right, and you can still pay your rent.
Granted, you probably have to play a decent amount, at least, you know, 4 to 5 hours a day, right? To do something like that.
No. So actually, this is a common misconception when applicants are sending their resumes to me, and I get fucking millions. I get people who bother me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
Really? Wow.
It's nonstop. It's like, damn, am I fucking James Bond? Like, bro, I'm not. It's not that serious. But I guess to them, it's like
it is
way
a big
to
deal
get out
for
to get out of poverty. But it's it should be a smart process when you're taking in applicants, because you want them to be knowledgeable, be able to do their own research, you know things about the game. It's a simple YouTube video. Just watch a couple YouTube videos. Actually, I'll go off on a little tangent. They're actually going to implement an account Axie, which is you can play the game but you cannot earn money. is to give people experience of playing the game.
That's
which
cool. That's a smart idea.
It's a really good idea.
That's a good idea.
So I think that will help the community in terms of experience.
Because I actually do want to try playing it. I haven't played the game yet. I have 3 Axes that I have someone using to play the game. I actually wanted to try playing the game. I'm like, I don't know if I want to buy 3 more Axes to play the game. That's actually really neat. I did not know that they're going to if they implement something like that. I think that's a great.
They're implementing that. They're implementing an actual exchange in the Ronin.
We didn't talk about lands. We didn't talk about the lands for Axes.
Okay. The land thing, the one point I was gonna bring up about the land is,
Well, let's explain what it is first.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
So, with all this information, Axie Infinity, it's a whole universe of little pets and stuff. And like I said, I compare it to Neopets because it's trying to be Neopets essentially. And with the addition of lands, it can actually achieve that. So right now, Axie, you can only PvP, you can do battles between Axies, or you can fight the computer essentially and go through like a little campaign mode. Those are the only 2 things you can do. What they're implementing soon is being able to create or buy land in a little digital universe, and then establish mini games for your Axies in the land itself. That is actually pretty fucking cool. I love Neopets growing up.
Yeah.
I can just imagine there's so many possibilities with that, and possibilities of the economy just blowing up.
Yeah, it's gonna boom because they also they're hiring one of the, I believe, the developers in Clash of Clans. If you guys ever played, they I believe they're gonna implement something like that in the game. And I can't wait, to be honest. The land gameplay, the items, and then if they put little, like, how World of Warcraft used to be, Frozen Throne? You guys ever played those? Those little custom games?
You would know more about that than I do.
You guys ever played those?
I don't know about Frozen Throne. I'm not sure I know what that is.
You ever played those custom games where you play the tower defense?
Warcraft 3. Warcraft 3.
Okay, Warcraft.
Oh, my bad. Those games, I love those tower defenses.
Yeah.
And I think someone will make something like that.
Absolutely. It's gonna become kind of like Roblox.
Yeah, exactly.
In terms of being able community content, that'd be fantastic. Kevin, what do you want to say about lands?
Well, I thought it was interesting. I actually had a friend of mine. He was interested in Axie. I was talking with him the other night about getting him into the game and stuff like that. And he was more interested in the land concept. And he brought up a good point to me that imagine instead of buying real estate in real life right now, you're buying real estate. You're buying digital real estate in the game. And I looked at the prices earlier, just to get in, because I just to get into some land that you can buy now. I think the cheapest plot is about $12,000.
12,000, correct. And that's so how the land is. There is let's see, marketplace.
But the land isn't all released yet, from my understanding. It sounds like
I believe there's 3. There's 3 pre-sales. So there's Savannah, Forest, Arctic, Mystic, Genesis. Those are the land types.
Right.
And the closer you are to the middle, which is Genesis, the closer you are to they said majority of the action and the resources, which is what you want, because your Axie, you can send your Axie to collect resources that you can sell or whatever you want, money or just in-game assets. And I think that's great, honestly.
There's a lot of interesting concepts with this game. And it looks like there's a lot on the horizon, especially with the growth of popularity that it's had. So hopefully it keeps trucking on, and hopefully the devs don't sleep on it, and they, kick it into high gear, make sure this content comes out. A lot of game developers, cryptocurrency involved or not, fall prey to waiting too long and taking too much time to release updates. So hopefully they don't suffer from that, and they tackle the challenges ahead.
They're releasing esports already.
Saw that. They're
multiple,
esports for Neopets.
it's crazy. That's insane.
If anyone who's listening is interested in this at all, leave a comment down below. Jordan's going to check every single comment. He already agreed to it before this. He's on 26 hours of no sleep. He's fine. But I know for a fact he'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. He loves talking about this.
Yeah, I love it so much. It's an amazing opportunity to be part of it. It's great. It's a great game.
If you're curious at all for yourself, it's called Axie Infinity. You can look it up on their website and learn more about it on YouTube and whatnot. But that's I think we'll end the episode there. Thanks again, Jordan, for our first time, second guest.
We didn't talk about the items. Sorry to cut you off. But
the items. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Quick synopsis of the item. I think it's similar to the land in that essence, but go ahead. Yeah, talk about the items real quick.
All right, so there's items in the Axie Infinity Marketplace that you can put in the land, and those items can give your Axie's buffs, and they're cool looking items.
Like swords and stuff. And
there's swords, yes, and there's like attack speed buff, resource buff, and there's an enemy called Chimera, which your Axies will fight, and you give your Axies buffs so that they get a better chance at killing the Chimera and possibly getting more resources.
Can items be dropped from like the PvE content? Hopefully.
I doubt it. Items are so expensive. I don't think it will be, but maybe in the future.
Maybe, yeah. Cool concepts. It sounds like a bunch of different little variables that will add to the economy. Hopefully they keep it balanced. But honestly, it's pretty exciting. Regardless, we got to wrap it up. Thanks again, Jordan. I do appreciate it.
It's a pleasure having you on, man.
It's always a pleasure.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, definitely. I think a fan favorite person to be on the podcast. So I had a lot of people come. A lot of people tell me how much they love the last episode you were in.
I was on crack that time. This time it's meth. I'll go back to crack. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, disappointment. Now I'm sure we'll have you on again to talk about more stuff because it's always fun talking to you. Anyway, thanks again for joining us, guys, for another coffee break. We hope you'll join us again. We'll see you next time. Have a great night. Or great day.
Or evening.
Or evening.